Welcome back to Karlstad, Sweden. We're gathered here for the World Mixed Doubles Curling Championship 2016. We've had a few sunny days, some great curling action, and Swedish hospitality so far this week. For today's final session in the Löfbergs Arena, we will feature China facing off against Canada. A repeat of the 2009 bronze medal game where Canada came out victorious. And that's the only medal these two nations have between them at the mixed doubles. That might all change this week. My name is Sander Ulvåg, and I'm joined by the ever so charming Sara Karlsson.
Thank you, Sander. Taking
a look at the standings so far, we'll see Canada and China already qualified for the next stage, but surely wanting to pick up a win. A 4-0 record for them, Ireland at 3-1, France 2-3, Australia and Italy at 1-3, and we have Serbia at 0-5. For China, we have Ba Dexin and Wang Rui. Team coach is Thomas Evans.
And lineup for Canada, Dustin Kalthoff, Marlies Kastner, and their team coach is Jeff Stoughton. We're going to take a look at the rules of play. There's 2 players, 1 male and 1 female. 6 stones per team, but 1 is pre-placed in every end. Play 8 ends and have 22 minutes of thinking time per team. And the players will throw either stones 1 and 5 or 2, 3 and 4. They are also allowed to switch positions in between the ends. Both players are allowed to sweep. Holding the broom is now optional. You can either have the sweeper with you from start or have a skip on the other end. No takeouts are allowed until the 4th stone of each end. That will be the 4th stone thrown. And teams are allowed 1 power play option per game. So they can use the power play once per game when they have hammer, but not in the extra end, and will then start the end with a corner guard. But we will explain that when we get to it.
Yeah, so if you're joining us for the first time this week, this all might seem all confusing. But as Sarah said, we'll be able to explain everything. It's not so hard, it's not so complicated as it might seem. China will play the red stones today, and Canada will throw the yellow. We'll see Canada with the hammer up on the board. That will indicate that they have last stone advantage and have outdrawn China in the pre-practice last stone draw. I hear the host say that the games may begin, so we're just about to get ready here. And it's Wang Rui throwing the first out-turn draw. And now are we looking for the freeze or top 4? What is the plan?
Well, before previous years when the shot stone was just behind the button, we were always looking for that perfect freeze. But now there's a bit of an option. You can come all the way down to this, but that, of course, still leaves the button available. So all the way from the freeze to somewhere in the top 8, 4 foot is a very good first shot.
Well, this one will get a perfect line sitting in front of that yellow, but will push it to the back of the 8 foot. Maybe allowing a little more room to score for the Canadians. As we'll see for Canada, Marlies Kastner, or as you might know her from her younger days, Marlies Miller.
Then she's coming on the intern side. Gonna try and get on top of the red stone.
Is it bumping? Get it there, get it there, get it there. Come on, go, 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 go.
Some great rush work by Kalthoff to get that all the way onto the button. I think it's still a red sitting shot, but it's very early in the end.
Marlies Kastner, of course, one of very few female skips to have won the World Junior Curling Championships undefeated. 11-0 back in 2003 in Flims, Switzerland. And now it's time for Ba Dexin. For China, he has played pretty much everything in the last decade. And of course, did play with placed second for Team China at the Olympic Games in Sochi, where they came so close to medaling, just losing out to Nicholas Edin in the bronze medal game. One of the most memorable curling games for me. Everything and anything happened in that game, including a few hogged stones. And this draw from Bao Dexin will just pull up a bit short and end up in the top 12.
Yeah, and with that stone from China pulling up short, Canada's now going to try and promote their own yellow. Dustin Kalthoff.
Let it curl if you can. Line's good. Line's real good. Good curl. Needs to curl. Needs to curl. Line's good. Just for weight. Line's perfect. Go. Go, 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 go. Bump it good. Bump it good. It's to the nose. Yeah, hard, hard, hard. Stop curling it. That's good. Good angle, actually.
And gets there really, really nicely. Sits absolutely frozen onto the back red and now lying shot.
All right， 我拿试试打一个呢，打一半它应该是3个全没，打一半那球直接往下走3。他那个咋的他都得留一个，因为他那个基本上。你听我说，打一半直接那球往下走，完那个球没都没，大点劲儿，那球粘不太好粘了，一大半。
So now China and Bao Dexin with a run back. And he will just touch the center guard, move it over. And the stones in the rings remain untouched.
Yeah, that's the shot.
What weight?
球过来打到这个3号那边一半全没他这球，那个时候是上面这么横着走的，没太敢顶，不顶还是这边还是得他顶。 打定偏暗一点就行。
So Canada can just throw a little more weight here. Hit their own shot yellow, move the red one back and roll out, maybe even behind the corner guard.
Yep.
Really spread some yellow stones around.
Dustin Kalthoff, a part of a curling family. His parents has ran the Humboldt Curling Club in Saskatchewan for a decade or so. And his father, Kevin, has represented Saskatchewan at the Brier 3 times. Seems to be the thing about curling. Everyone's connected somehow with family.
Thanks.
Not too many players who does not have a curling member in their family.
No, I guess it's a good sport to bring your kids to and to do it together with your family as well.
Certainly a sport of all ages, as we have the Senior World Curling Championships here this week. And the curling club, the other side of town.
Yeah, almost as many as 90 different curling teams in Karlstad at the moment. And I think now we're going to see China with another run back. Bao Dexin going to play his own red one back onto the yellows. Need to get rid of a couple. Not that many stones left in the first end. And he'll do enough to spill one, but it's Canada sitting 2. Remember, they have the last stone advantage.
Wait's there. Don't want to. We're right to ours.
So right to the yellow, maybe be a little longer than they planned. Just wanted to come in a little behind the red one, prevent a run back that would remove more than one yellow. Now with this coming to deep, China can either run the reds and get rid of one or two, or they could hit that yellow one just played by Karlstad and roll in to sit on top of the yellow.
那就是打逆时。对呀。那就打到这儿，打定往外偏。不行就打定。打定不行，必须往外偏。一个是打甩，一个找，你选哪个？要是直接打定的话，那个不会用。定啊，对也行 ，OK。对吧？用这个直接找。 往外偏一点就行。多大？大点劲儿。从中间往。你就随便偏外边都行，找到那个往中间甩也行。
So final stone for China in the first end. And it is the run back called. Trying to get this to curl as much as possible now, and it's not really going to hit the red one enough. They have left Canada with a pretty straightforward shot to score 3 in the first end.
Is a score of 3 as big or less big of a score in mixed doubles as in the traditional format?
Well, 3 is still 3, but I'd say it's not as big in mixed doubles because we see so many more big scores. We even saw in our previous broadcast game, Germany got 3 in the first end, and then Finland took 3 right back. So,
well, then Germany scored 4 right back.
Yes,
so
and that's mixed doubles for you. Of course, it's still great to score 3. It's a huge score, but it's never really safe in mixed doubles.
So last stone here of the first end for Marlies Kastner.
You got it. Go, 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 go. You gotta go. You gotta go.
Just
really
needing
hard.
a piece of the 8-foot here. Score 3, and it's Karlstad on the sweep to try and drag it as far as he can, but can't drag it far enough. So only a score of 2, but still a good start for the Canadians, although China may be a bit relieved that they're only giving up 2, not the 3. After 1 having to play, Canada 2 up.
My kick was okay, it was just my relief.
So the umpires have put the pre-position stones in front, the centre guard and that yellow stone back of the forfeit. And now just realizing that they need to switch up the colours, and that can happen. Of course, with Canada having scored 2, they will have the first stone.
Oh, no, the rock, sorry.
Meaning it is China to have the stone in the back of the forfeit. So there you go. And it is Marlies Kastner to start off the second end. As mentioned, one of few to have won the World Junior Championships undefeated. Actually one of 2, with Kelsey Rock being the only other skip to have done so back in 2015, well, last year in Tallinn.
Gotta curl a bit.
And she also played for Stephanie Lawton back in the year 2000 as a 3rd. They ended up with the silver medal, losing out to Sweden.
That can happen to anyone.
I'm sure it can, Sarah.
It's certainly impressive to go through an entire World Championship undefeated. And they've done a really good job here as well. Very convincing games, very convincing wins so far for this Canadian team.
Yeah, well, both teams undefeated so far. But I'm afraid one of the teams might have to drop a game here tonight.
Just trying to keep the line here, not to over curl the yellow, and they will still be touching it, but at an angle.
是早点擦呀。
不是，我看还行，应该是。然后。
不行，妹妹，这不行，必须得。
Line's good. Just for weight. Line's real good. Yep, go. Go, go, go. First one on the red is great too. Go, 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 go.
So that's a really great draw and sweep by Dustin Kalthoff. Having to do a lot of work here, but gets a good result. It's China with the shot stone. Canada in control, sitting right over it, top of the forefoot.
大白边儿去。白边儿跟14秒左右投就行，正磕的，偏外1.2。
7、8。
哎，我力量哪样？线路可以啊，可以下线，正常擦，正常擦，保证力量，可以下线。No no 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 no。继续 ，Go。力量小的话，告诉我就下线擦就行，不能比他擦。这也行。
Lots of room. How much weight?
Weight's good.
Needs to curl. Needs to curl a ton.
Come here. Make it curl then. Go, 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 go. Come on.
So
Come on.
getting Kasner to come out with a more abrasive and fresh pad here to make it carve in a wee bit towards the center line. Of course, that's the part of the curling this season, the directional sweeping. With that abrasive pad, you kind of make structures in the ice that the stone will follow and will tend to dive and die in towards the center when you do so. Just able to give that extra help to get there. Top four.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa!
China, you can see here, is very, very close to making contact in the rings. Starting to realize that this end isn't setting up too good for them. And I mean, 2 down is not a disaster, but they definitely want to put a score on the board, so they're going to need to create some room to be able to do that.
If we're going to leave them aside, it has to be this side.
Yeah.
This is better than this.
Okay, you like this ice?
Yeah, I do. 3.
Needs to curl. Line's good. Line's good.
3.
Split the center. It might over curl. It might over curl. It's over curling. Nope. Gotta go. No, it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. Whoa. Good curl.
Again, bad scene with the up weight, run back, need to make contact this time. And he will, but I'm not sure that's a great result. Still Canada sitting 2 on the button. And also angle frozen onto the red.
The center line.
Top 12?
Probably need ice there. Maybe even
More?
halfway in the 12. Yeah.
I think if I'm here, that's air.
Yeah,
in
that's
center
fine.
line.
So just the 1 stone left to play for Canada in this end. They are already sitting 2. There's not a lot more room to get another one in there. It's a bit difficult for China, so just gonna play the center guard.
In the 12 too, okay?
It'll be beautiful
Put it up
out here. Yeah.
quite
Same
tight.
weight, no difference.
And it's going to be beautiful out here. Is that what you would like to hear when you're in the hack?
Well, that's certainly a positive feedback, I
Weight's good.
think.
Close line. Line's good.
I guess that makes you just
Yeah,
feel
hold it
nicer
there.
about throwing.
Hold it there, yep, go.
Just the 2.
Go. You need to hold it there. No, it's curling enough. It's curling enough. Okay, go, 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 go. Whoa, whoa. No, no. Did you think it? Is that light? Sorry.
That's okay.
That line would
Well,
have
I
been
wouldn't
fine.
say there's a whole lot of real estate left for China to draw for 1 here.
Oh, she was never hitting.
I guess not.
That's it.
In turn draw for China. The last stone of the second end. Really, really tough draw.
力量大，力量大，力量大。
The pin is barely showing. Well, this draw is coming up way heavy, I think. Not really close here. That's going to slip past everything. A steal of 2 for Canada. So that's 2 2s up on the board for the Canadians. They'll lead the game 4-0 after 2 ends of play.
Okay.
Light.
Welcome back to the World Mixed Doubles Curling Championship here in Löfbergs Arena, Karlstad, Sweden. We're in the 3rd end. It is Canada up by 4. after having scored 2 in the first, now stealing 2 in the second.
Right up, right up, right up, right up. Right up.
Looking for this ever so important first draw.
Really hard.
And Karlstad really working this one to get it into the forefoot. Not enough for shot stone, but we'll keep it on the top of the forefoot. Certainly usable there.
And 83% for
提线啊，
Wang Ri. It's a really, really great mixed doubles numbers.
磕，8、9力量，下线，
我下线，下线。
We'll get the inside of that yellow, tap it back to the 8-foot and sit on top. A great shot there by Wang.
Yeah, that's really nice. Canada now calling the freeze to the back stone.
微强，
Of course, makes it a little more tricky to get there with the Chinese stone just top of the forefoot. And 81% for Dustin Kalthoff. Also really good numbers in mixed doubles curling.
I think it's good. Yeah, it's good.
Easy. Close, yep. Yep, line. Hard line. I think we're on the top one. We're on the top one. Just freeze to it.
So on the top one, then just hoping it'll stay there instead. But they have bounced off a little.
Sorry. We just had to hit it early.
Need more ice?
Curls, yeah.
清传自己这个吧，咱还是3分。
2个吧。
正传一点就行。
稍微往外点卡的那个一下也可以。
哎，小吗？我来。走。
The 5-time Pacific Asia Curling Championship winner, Ba De Shin, but never able to medal at the World Men's Curling Championship. Came very close, really building
我力量还行，
up until that Sochi Olympics where they made the playoffs. And a couple of his
Yeah,
teammates
it's just too far
then
apart for
quit
drag.
curling for now.
It was closer.
It's a bit of a new team for the Chinese men's team, as they're having to rebuild a wee bit.
We try and just nose it.
With what weight?
Like
Half,
board.
half buried.
Half.
Half buried.
Jeff Stoughton, team coach for Canada. It's almost like you don't have to
Then we
say
have the tap on
anything
the next one, hey?
about him,
'Cause
but
the tap right now is
obviously
really-
won the World
really hard, and
Championships a
it's
few
just lined up
times
all
and
day if you only get
been
to
around the
here.
block more than once.
And that's
How do
when
we
I play
run it?
that. Sure. I'm okay with that.
Yep, accompanied
Rana.
with a long-time coach, Jim Waite.
That's a pretty experienced bench right there, compared to some teams that doesn't even have a coach.
Well, and Canada comes with 2. It almost seems a little unfair.
I believe Jeff Stoughton is very much responsible of the mixed doubles program in Canada. After having retired from curling himself, I'm sure he's out there throwing a few. I've seen him in the evenings this week anyway. Oh, does make contact here. Nice run back by Kalthoff. Will actually spin off 2 reds. Didn't catch much of the top one, but with that kind of weight, certainly it's going to move some granite. As you see, everything just really moving except the back yellow. And that, I'd say that really works out for them.
Yeah, that works out for them really good. 4 shots up, 4 points on the board. And now everything wide open.
站后边那个。
我 粘它上去，正粘着的，
我粘不好一打不全排。
粘它一个行吗？
Well, Louise Kastner and Dustin Kaltoff did play the Canadian Mixed Doubles Championship. They did not win, however,
还有俩球呢，行吗？
but they were able to beat teams like Emma Miskew and Ryan Fry. They beat Lisa Weigel with John Epping in the quarterfinals. These are obviously names quite known to the curling fan, but lost out to Laura Crocker and Jeff Walker in the semi-final. But a couple of the teams ahead of them occupied with the traditional curling format and other competitions. So they have been able to come here. Does it feel different not having won the championship to go here, or do you think they don't care and they're just happy to be here and have a chance to win?
I don't think they feel that much difference. Of course, there's always a sense of pride winning your home nation, but they're doing so well at the Worlds, and they're definitely still ranked one of the top teams here. So I think it's full focus on the Worlds.
Well, I think it's fair to say that the mixed doubles national playdowns in Canada might just be the toughest one in the world. I think maybe alongside the Swiss playdowns also sounded pretty tough. And a lot more teams and a lot more players now, a lot more focus on the mixed doubles, especially after becoming an Olympic event. We'll have mixed doubles on the Olympic program for Pyeongchang in 2018. And of course, this is one of 2 years where teams are able to gather Olympic points for their nations. As that trace of mind a bit interrupted by this complete miss. Not able to hit that red stone, top 4. I wouldn't say there was much in between those stones as it passed.
No, it certainly came so close to both.
Thomas Evans, coach for Team China.
Yeah, he's been working with China and the mixed doubles program since the middle of January.
Hard. Hard. Hard, hard, hard. Hard. Hard.
Oh, well, just over curl to catch the top one slightly, but enough to remove that yellow and stick around the shooter. 3 red stones in the house now for Team China.
Yeah, so even though it's a pretty straightforward takeout for Canada to sit to, they better be careful where they leave their shooter.
I think they're with 9-5.
Don't want to leave China with a double to score 3.
Is there any sense of drawing? Freezing to it?
Drawing.
Because if they get a double, they get...
Oops. Hold.
The hit's good, right?
Oh, the hit's the smart ball.
Okay. 9-5. Nope. Yep. Yep, for the roll. Easy. Yep. Oh, no, 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 no. It's got to curl.
Again, just running a little straight down that line. But will do a really, really good job to sit to.
That's actually the perfect spot.
Lucky me.
Lucky you, yeah. Lucky us.
So close to leaving
Hard in line.
an O sit for 3, and instead this is now just for 1.
I'll take the chance to apologize for calling Millard Evans Thomas Evans, of course. Millard Evans, a inductee of the Canadian Curling Hall of Fame and 3 times World Senior Curling Champion for Canada. And that's the sort of experience that can really lift the performance of Team China. So we see a lot of Canadian coaches helping out different nations around the world. Oh, there we go. That's I think that's the first fall we've had on the broadcast so far, Sarah.
Yeah, we've had a few stumbles, but no one fall. But looks like he's okay though.
Well, a nice little stumble indeed from Ba Dexin. But in the end, it is a score of 1 for China. And still trailing Canada by 3. The score so far after 3 ends of play. 4 shots for Canada, 1 for China. And I think China might need to put on stealing mode.
OK 啊，线路 OK。有线。
So the fourth end, very much in action here. It is China trailing Canada by 3 points. They are both qualified for the next stage of the mixed doubles championship, but obviously it's a lot better being ranked #1 in your group. That way you will more than likely face off against perhaps a weaker team, at least a team that didn't win their group. And also chance of maybe getting hammer for the next playoff game, etc. So still a lot of things to play for, even though both being qualified even before the session. As this first draw from China, just over curling, actually not getting around that center guard whatsoever. Not sure if that picked up or if that was just a lazy handle, but certainly leaves Canada with a chance to come in top 4 in line 2.
Yeah, and it's really good that they've played this top 4. Tolerance is a little light when that happens. We've seen some teams just being so focused on putting another shot stone in there that they've actually slipped back of the tee line, and that mistake can cost you quite a lot because it will leave the freeze. But perfect weight from Canada on that one. I think the freeze is just the one available on the in-turn side, so that's what China's going to play.
Hard.
And again, just wrecking on that center guard.
Us or what?
No, I like this.
You know the spot, Marlies.
Yep. Close line. No, it's.
I like the weight.
Close, hit it.
I really like the weight.
Okay, it's running like mine. It's running harder than mine. We're not even close. It needs to curl.
Weight's perfect.
Big time. It needs to curl. Just let it stop, I guess. I don't know. Okay.
It's okay.
Good. Yep.
Geez, just should have had that little bit less ice.
Just
My
running.
apologies.
No,
Weight was
that's okay.
perfect.
Yeah, like mine ran like that too, so I didn't want to take any more.
It's still real good though.
Maybe you get bigger swoop if you take a little bit more, like you did on that side, going that way.
Okay.
So just always talking about the different tracks in the ice to make sure that they know where to put the broom. And doesn't end up in the worst spot. And we've seen this shot before. China playing the run back. I'm sorry to say, Sandra, but we've seen that one before as well. Just not so lucky with the centimeters so far this evening.
Yeah, it's a bit of a struggle for Bad de Shin so far. And remember, Canada
No, I like
with
this
the
turn.
last stone now as well. Already lying 3.
Close.
3.
No. Lines. It'll need to curl.
Come here then. Come
No,
here.
it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's coming now. Split the center. Grab the center.
It's in a top 12.
Okay, it's frozen. Right
No,
here.
it's not frozen.
Okay. That's
Sorry.
it. That's fine.
Too far.
Still looking at.
They're
More in the. Good time? One shot. Oh, two.
2 shots left. I have 1 more. You have 1.
Yeah. That'll be fine.
We'll be about 11.
So, wonder if there's a chance for Bad de Shin to maybe make the triple here. You can certainly throw it hard enough. You can hit this top yellow, kind of hit the crotch of the 2 yellow stones in the middle there, and you might see the top yellow go bang bang, spin up and out. I'm not sure if that was the call, but well, those thoughts seem to be confirmed here. It is a big weight shot coming down. And he's actually going to run it past all of them. Just not being able to be accurate here so far.
No, and it was China needing a steal. But just as it's lying now, it's tough to see where they're going to get that shot stone in.
Yeah, a little bit for lines. No, line's good. Needs to curl a bit. We don't want to overlap them, so top 12. Line's good. Line's good. Easy. Just here. Just
Needs
here.
it.
Just here. Just a bite. Okay, go fine. That's it. Good shot. Yeah, overcurled slightly. No shape of lips. But we're laying 2 and drawing to 3, so it's not a big deal.
还是3分。
啊？
我说要不然我粘一个。
怎么着？拿这面啊？你粘完还是磕完甩一点儿？你打甩呢？你想哪个？反正无所谓，都行。磕一点的话，容易给他一磕还。
行。
打甩。
行。
甩到定一点就行，偏一点。
湖边。
Well, like you heard Marlies Kasner say, well, that overcurled a wee bit. We've left them that hit and roll. They can play the hit on the open yellow, roll on top of the stone top 4, but it's only going to be enough for 3rd shot, meaning Canada will at least score 2 and have a draw to score 3. So I wouldn't say there's necessarily any crisis for the Canadians.
No, I would say that's a great situation for Canada. Tough for China now playing this shot to try and only concede 2. So maybe they've changed their mind. Are they going for the tap instead? It's a more difficult shot, but trailing Canada with 5 points might not seem doable.
Well, if they're playing a difficult shot like the tap, I wouldn't mind seeing them maybe go down there and have a closer look at the shot before throwing it. That seemed to be more of a hasty decision than anything. We'll see if it pays off for them. And that's just not going to do very much for them. Leaving Canada sitting 3. There's 2 options. They can play the hit to score 5 here, or they could just draw for 4. I don't think they'll be too scared of playing the hit here, the Canadians. As you heard Kaltov say, well, if you overcurl this and you roll all the way out, we're still scoring 4. Just don't want to be high here, throwing it Just to catch a piece on the outside, you jam it onto the shot stone, but that would take very much. A player of Marley's caliber shouldn't make a mistake like that. Should be fairly close to making the nose hit.
Yeah, there's definitely a very clear tolerance for this shot, so expect her to make this.
Yeah, last stone of the fourth in, a great chance for Team Canada to put another multiple score up on the board. Sounding pretty good coming all the way down here. Nose hit will stick around. That's a big score of 5, a fistful for Team Canada as they'll move ahead. 9 shots to 1 lead for the Maple Leafs over the Chinese. And it'd be hard for China to pull back from that, perhaps. Well, that's half-time. Teams will head off the ice, and China will have a chance to have a talk and plan what they're needing to do for the next 4 ends. I'd like very much to hear the updates from the other scores, Sarah.
Anything to make you happy, Sander. It's a tied game between New Zealand and Belarus, 2 each. Ireland is up 5-2, playing France. And Spain is leading the game against the Netherlands, up 5 shots to 1. And finally, Italy has a 5-3 lead, playing Australia.
Why, thank you very much. Now the teams will have a few minutes break still, but in just a few moments, Sarah will bring you the highlights from those first 4 ends, and then we'll be back for the rest of the game.
That third end was a little scary.
Absolutely. It just makes the perfect roll in the third end, totally by accident.
Almost oversweeps it, but
I was like, hey.
I know, it's so
That was crazy straight there.
I know.
How did my bumperweight shot not make contact? Are you kidding me?
And then his goes like super cat and he misses.
And he got her going, and then it was gone.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And then Marlise's ball, that should have been easy too, like totally like not rolling that far, and instead it just
Oh man, that
super
took
straight
a little
on.
curl in. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
No worries. Crazy straight there.
That was amazing.
what, on your last one?
We took
Nothing.
we
When you
made
put the
sure we
broom
took
down, I'm like,
safe ice.
So I'm like, if you go beside the log, I was the whole time.
I said, you know what, Mark?
We were thinking
if,
4 is
if
okay.
if you hit half a rock on the inside and you roll out, you're getting 4.
You're
I
gonna,
love it.
if you hit half a rock, you're still gonna hit one of yours.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
I'm like, everyone hits it and then goes, oh, come on.
I would take 8-1.
Well, you know, Marlise throws a really good hit. You know, we can have lots of confidence if we know what the ice is. She's gonna hit the broom and be close.
Where were you thinking you were like, was that room right near to your lap?
A quarter off center. Or center? Yeah, good. You just can't be wrong. It's crazy how straight it is right now in where the blue of the 4-foot is and the white, the inside half of the white of the 8-foot or whatever. It's poker straight there.
Have another really solid form.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great shape.
Yeah, we're not going to let her foot off the gas.
Let's have another good 4. Yeah, I guess Beats walking in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Jim, would you kindly reach for that? No, I don't want to. Just walk. No problem. Appreciate that.
Pardon? Oh, good for him.
4 really good 5. Okay, you're leaving me hanging here. Come on.
Sorry.
In the first end of the game between China and Canada, It was Canada in full control, and Marlies Kastner has a draw to
Really hard, really hard, really hard.
basically the 8-foot to score 3. She will pull up short, and it will be a score of 2 for Canada. It's still off to a good start. 2-1 after the first end. Sorry, 2-0, of course. In the second end, China has a really difficult draw against 2 Canadian stones on the button. Not a lot of room to stop on, and this has way too much weight. Canada steals 2 to move ahead 4 shots to none.
And I should have known that. I should have known
In
that.
the third end, Canada made a really, really perfect hit and roll to sit 2, and Wang Ryu had a hit on the nose for 1. They will pick up their first point. And then in the fourth end, it was first a really difficult tap that was not successful by China. So Canada's Marlies Kastner has a nose hit for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And after 4 ends, they will have a big lead, 9-1, with 4 more ends to go.
Why, thank you very much, Sara Karlsson. You're, well, if you're just joining us here, you're in the Löfbergs Arena, Karlstad, Sweden, World Mixed Doubles Curling Championship 2016. It is Canada to have gained a dominant lead, 9 shots to 1. And I know we say anything can happen in mixed doubles curling, but surely this is a lead too big to lose, Sarah.
I would say this is bound to feel fairly confident for the Canadian teams. This is also a team with 2 good hitters, so they are also going to be effective with the defensive calls. And, well, most of all, I think China's just not as sharp as we have seen them, so in order to catch up, they're really going to need to change their game and just start making their shots.
Line's really good. Yep, hard line. Hard, we're on the top. Hard.
Sorry, Marlies.
Okay, line it up. Yep, 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 yep. Oh, no, leave it, separated.
So in the final moments, just trying to line this up so that they can run the yellows back.
Something underneath my slider.
We're just over curling, leaving 2 guards.
There's nothing I could do while I was sliding out.
The Shin from Harbin, China, the northernmost among the major cities in China. Very famous for their International Ice and Snow Sculpture Festival. Has been held since 1985. All amazing ice sculptures being lit up with all kinds of colors. I've not been able to go myself.
I have actually, and it's really, really beautiful. I would recommend anyone to go and have a look there in Harbin.
Was that for the University Games?
Yes, I believe that was 2009.
9, yes, of course.
You got one more shot after.
Did you win, Sarah?
No. But I saw the ice sculptures and they were beautiful.
But I believe Niklas Edin won for Sweden for the men's.
That would be true, yes.
So you all recommend everyone to go to Harbin then.
It's a fairly long trip from Karlstad, but it was super nice once we got there.
Well, that's a point you're making there. It's a long trip for the Chinese, but also for the Canadians. How much has that affected you as a player, having to travel all across the pond to play? Has jet lag a lot to say? Does that make a difference?
Of course, and I think the teams would like to come a little early And it also depends, I think, coming from China to Sweden, that will mean that you wake up early in the morning and you go to bed early at night, which is normally a little easier to handle than maybe coming from Canada to Sweden, where you're basically tired all day until you're supposed to go to bed.
Well, personally, I never had a problem with jet lag, but I know some of my teammates really struggle with it, so it's really down to how you handle it, I guess. Some have a bigger problem with it than others.
Yep. Well, both these teams undefeated so far and putting up some great numbers, at least up until this game, where we're seeing China with a bit more of a struggle, so I'm guessing they handled it fine.
Well, you said they're going early to bed in Chinese time, and it's about 10 o'clock local time. Are they getting sleepy? Is that the point you're making?
Perhaps. Or it's just, you know, this happens. It's a long week, many games, and they're already qualified, so just not finding their play.
Well, it is a long week, but teams have not had to play too many games. Most teams are having to play about one game a day, and actually some teams are saying they're struggling to find things to do in between games a little bit, as you're so used to curling all the time, going to championships. Sometimes it's all just by playing game, trying to sleep in between games.
Kind of looks like a lot, but
Here you're actually having to try to find some activities to do to actually let the time pass.
Yeah, it's true. That's bound to be quite a change, and that can also throw you off your rhythm a little bit. Canada, however, seeming to have their rhythm. And this is lined up pretty good to get rid of the red one. Makes it no bother. Canada sits
Still
two.
went too straight. Still hit too thin.
We did. I was
So we could have been buried.
And I was hoping to roll that one to guard her.
Oh, we could have guarded them both. It is just
I have to be
ridiculously
patient
straight.
there. But yeah, you were on the inside.
That's
Came on the backside.
那你要是打定舍一点，
我打定没啥用啊，打定他也打
咱
他打咱
一。打也还是俩，
对啊，
选一个。就是对，选一个吧，因为你
打完没用，
他打都是
他这球他找也不太好找。
So I think China were looking at the long roll. They could also draw down the out-turn side to come to the same spot. And that's what they're doing. I obviously didn't learn any Chinese when I was in Harbin.
这线路还行，正常擦，擦大线路。
小点儿。
hard， hard。
Well, you can hear that Badashin has picked up a few English words. Has spent quite some time in Canada on tour in prior years. And I think that's quite normal for most curling teams, use the international lingo, the different terms. Makes it easier for us, though, to communicate or commentate. And they all use the same terms.
Yeah, it's especially when the teams are not having a skip in the rings anymore, but electing to have a sweeper instead.
Well, maybe you can take the ice you had. Take 2 inches into the ball.
So Canada gonna tap up the yellow one that's closer to the center line. They have been struggling a little bit with line here, just saying that it seems to be a bit straighter.
Hard line too. No, line's right. Got a curl actually. Got a curl. Got a curl. Got a curl.
Now switching it up for curl.
Don't get it. Fine.
And we'll get a little bounce.
Triple's probably there.
But as you heard, it
I'm just not giving you enough.
Badiksen is looking at the triple, and Dustin Kalthoff just saying that it's probably there.
Yeah, after some light dusting from Kalthoff, is able to bring that into the top 12. We'll see if the triple is on. How much weight is Wang able to throw?
I think she can throw them quite hard. Played her team a couple of times on the tour, and it's definitely possible. But again, our Chinese just failing Sander.
Yeah, last one on the 5-10, not going for the triple, but rather the out-turn draw.
All right.
And here we go. Nice draw to the forefoot. A score for China. Not the score they were looking for. However, another single, and they will trail Canada by 7 points. Canada up 9 shots to 2 after 5 ends of play. Well, we're back in action here in the 6th end. Of course, China scoring 1 in that 5th end, just not up on the boards quite yet. And there's 2 things I'd like to ask from you, Sarah. I'm not quite sure what to start with. I'm going to start with you explaining what power play is all about.
Of course, teams can use power play once per game, and they can do so when they have hammer. And when they choose power play, you see the setup coming into the image right there. The team with hammer will have their stone just touching the tee line out to the side, and it will also be covered by a corner guard. This, of course, opening things up, sets you up for a multiple score, and it's also a good defensive call because you keep things out of the center line.
That should be close.
And now, would you also like an update?
No.
Yes, that was my second question. Is it possible for you to update us on the other scores here in the Löfbergs Arena?
It should be possible. Belarus is catching on to New Zealand, and they have a 5-2 lead. Ireland is up 5-3. They're playing France. Spain played a really great shot in the 4th end.
A little bit.
And they are up 5-2, playing the Netherlands. Finally, it's a very close game between Italy and Australia. Italy up 1 point, leading that game 5-4 after 5 ends.
Okay, so would that have been...
Well, we've seen a few different approaches for the power play end, and it all depends on the score. China, of course, down by 7, needing to steal. As you see, Badishin just having a tough day at the office, 46%. And they're putting up center guards and trying to steal rather than neutralizing that corner guard by playing the soft peel, the tick shot, as we've seen a lot of teams do earlier in the week. And I'm pretty sure they're just going to put all the eggs in one basket here to try and pick up a few points. As you'll see them put up another center guard. This is what I like to see. This is probably the only way you're really going to steal, and it's sort of feels like the traditional game. A good old 10th end, putting up the double center guards to steal a point.
Yeah, remember though, they're going to need to steal more than the 1 point as they're trailing by 7.
I don't think we need it.
So even with the 3 ends left to go, China need to steal a couple of or more to stay in this game.
Well, the big difference here
No, you're good.
is that Canada is now allowed to peel. If this was the traditional game, they wouldn't have been allowed to peel that second center. It's pretty much a 3-rock rule, sort of.
Yeah, but then again, they would also not have the 2 stones already in the rings.
That is true.
再站一个啊。
Still not helping China, though.
No. So the question is China going to need to keep up double guards, or when do you come into the rings in mixed doubles? There are not that many stones to play.
Well, that's a good question. I think maybe just the second to last, penultimate stone.
Yeah, of course, also needing a steal of 2 or more.
I think stealing 2 here might be difficult. And keeping in mind that you do have to play 6 ends in mixed doubles play, and pretty much forced to. Now we have seen some games that have ended after 5, but that's because it's been mathematically impossible for the teams to win. So one game, the team was down 19-0 after 5 ends, and with only 3 ends remaining, and a maximum score of 6 points per end. Could only score 18. And when 18 points isn't enough in the last 3 ends, well, I think you might as well concede.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's still fun that we have some new teams coming into mixed doubles play every year. This year, for example, we have Qatar
I'll never miss
making their first appearance.
Yeah, just super fun to see them out there. I believe they've only played a month, so to be honest, they're really impressive. And they do not have a dedicated curling club back in Qatar, and I believe they went to Belarus to practice.
Yeah, and they picked up the 4 first points for their nation, I think, and they seemed pretty excited about it, so a warm welcome to them.
I believe they were even featured on the German television just well, today or yesterday. So turning heads everywhere they go. Team Qatar. And of course we welcome every nation of the world to start playing curling.
Yes, China is selected to come into the rings now.
Dustin, any contact and we're sitting 1-2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Marlies is right. If they just run this back, they will be sitting 1 and 2, but that might also leave the risk of leaving a guard. Want to make sure they roll off the shooter.
No. 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 No.
Well, that grisly roar from Karlstad, just meaning he was pretty close to making it.
Or I threw it slightly out there.
I didn't think
Didn't
so.
feel like my best throw.
Where the ice was, it needed to move just a little bit, I guess, hey?
In practice, those were curling a little bit for me, so I thought it would curl a little bit.
So it is, I didn't quite see, Sarah, is it China line 1 or is it Canada with Johnstone?
I'm not sure. I think it's pretty close. And I don't really think that China can steal with this one either, but they can come around it.
Yeah, pretty much using this as a guard here. And I don't think they mind coming back at the tee line here, just making this this run double a little bit harder. Definitely makes the out-turn draw pretty tough. I don't believe Canada wants to play the draw if China is lying 2.
Right. No, just hit it. Play the scoreboard play. We're up by 7.
Just high.
If they get 1, it's okay.
I think I'm gonna take about where I took last time.
I completely agree. Of course, this being the 6th end, there are 2 ends to go. If they give up a steal of 1, China is still going to need to steal a lot of points.
Where are you taking broom?
3/4 of rock.
Okay, I like it. You're trying to hit 7/8 on this side,
Yeah,
or 3/4 on this side?
Right.
Okay.
7/8.
Last stone of the 6th end for Marlies Kasner and Team Canada, looking for the double. Could score 3 here and really kill the game. Already up by 7. Sounds pretty close. There we go. 1, 2. They both fly out the side door. It is a score of 3 for Team Canada, and that's going to mark a 12 shots to 2 win for the Canadians. A dominant performance. And even with a good team like China, it just didn't seem close, Sarah.
No, China just not finding their game today. We've certainly seen them play a lot better, but hats off to Canada. They played a really good one, and that's another convincing game for them. They still have one more game, playing Australia in their final group game. But both of these teams, of course, have qualified. China is playing Ireland tomorrow. And elsewhere in this arena, it's Italy still up 5-4, playing Australia. Spain up 6-2, playing the Netherlands. Ireland is ahead 5-3 on France. And New Zealand scored 4 in the 6th end to lead the game against Belarus, now 6 shots to 5. We are, of course, going to bring you an interview with the Canadian teams, some highlights from this game, and you can join us again tomorrow at 11:15 for the game between England and Turkey.
I'll be like, oh, that'll be little do they know.
Yeah, little do they know. Little do they know they looked at the scoreboard. And went,
She likes sitting at ice cream, that's about it.
yeah, when she hit for that 1 in that end, I thought, oh no, they're laying 2. Right, whatever, you know. Because I thought, why are you hitting the back one?
If we roll.
Yeah, I thought you rolled too far. Should have been close to not quite on that. I was there with the red one. For which one? Oh, to stop it? No. Oh. Yeah. Get it to go away. Oh, thank you. Guess we've hand those to you.
Thank you.
We do everything.
You do everything.
So it's all in good sportsmanship, guys, but I got to boot you out now. So, okay, thank you.
I don't know how to turn it off. Is that okay?
They'll figure it out. Okay.
in the first end in the game between Canada and China. It was Canada that set up really well, and Marlies Kastner has a draw to the 8-foot to score 3. Dustin Kalthoff on this all the way, but won't get it far enough. Still, though, a score of 2 in the first end for Canada. And in the second end, Canada sitting 2, and China has a really difficult draw. They need to catch the button to score 1. And this is way too much weight. Canada steals 2 to move ahead 4 shots to none after 2 ends. And in the third end, Marlies Kastner played an absolute perfect roll with her final shot, which left Wang Ryu with this nose hit to score 1. She gets that one perfect, and they will put their first score on the board. And then in the fourth end, Wang Ryu failed to make what was a really difficult tap, and Canada's Marlies Kastner has a nose hit to score as many as 5. She will hit the red one on the nose, and they will now have a big lead, 9-1 after 4 ends.
Great spots for those.
And in the fifth end, it's Wang Ryu and China with an outturn draw to score 1. She will put this on the tee line and score their 1, but they still trail Canada now by 7 points. It's Canada 9, China 2 after 5 ends. Finally, in the sixth end, it was Canada that used their power play. China went all out to steal, but in the end, Marlies Kastner had a double to keep China from stealing. She will get this absolutely perfect and also score as many as 3. So handshakes there after the final score is 12-2. Really convincing game by the Canadians, and they will remain undefeated in the group so far. And we're now going to hear an interview with Team Canada.
A dominant performance by Canada out there. What made the difference between the teams?
We tried to put our best effort on the ice, and I guess we put probably our best effort throughout the week this week on the ice, and I would imagine that's probably not their best performance considering they came into this 4-0.
Now you're coming in not as Canadian champions to the event. Does that bug you, or are you just happy to be here?
You know what? It's a privilege to be here and represent Team Canada. Yes, unfortunately we didn't win the gold there, but we had a really good performance there, and we were very happy and excited to be able to represent Canada.
Seems like you're just cruising through the week. Are you looking at the next world champion?
You know what? We're not looking that far ahead. We're taking it one game at a time, as cliche as that sounds, and just focusing on making one shot at a time, making sure that we're looking after all the little elements of our game that we can improve on, and just trying to put our best effort on the ice every time we step on.
Seems like you have a bigger fan base than most out there. Is that helping you playing better?
It's always nice to have some cowbells ringing when we make shots and stuff. But yeah, it's also nice off the ice to have some family to around with and enjoy our time with too.
Well, thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.